Hi everybody, it's Christina from Card Making Magic. This is a new tool that I've just bought, and this is the Misty. This is the most incredible stamping tool invented, and if you like stamping, this is a great aid for anything that you wish to do. Now, I bought mine, and I also bought the grid pad that goes with it, and I bought the cleaner because you need to be very careful how you clean this lid. You don't want to scratch it or mark it. Now, once you've opened it up, inside there is a thick black pad, and this is the pad that you will insert if you want to use clear stamps. But if you're going to use stamps that have a rubber backing like this one, then you can take this out. So I'm going to lay a piece of this grid paper inside just to keep this base part clean. Now, you need to buy, or it may come with, some magnets, and these magnets are very, very strong. If you let them bang together, they will split like this. They can also trap your fingers, and it does hurt. So make sure that you keep your magnets well apart. So this is the little card that I'm going to make, and we're going to create this gradiated background for the base. So what I've done is I've created a base card with the fold at the top. I've cut a smaller mat in lilac, and I've cut myself a piece of smooth white card that's much bigger because we're going to cut this down to fit the front of this, but we're only going to do that when we've completed the stamping. So I'm going to, this will sit on this side of the tool. So this is the stamp that I'm going to use, and this is patterned triangles from My Favourite Things. So I need to place this on the deeper side, the ruled side of the Misty. And if you press it down, press the lid down gently, that will pick the stamp up for you. Now on the other side, I'm going to place my white card, and I'm going to start on this side of the stamp, so I'm putting the magnet over there. Now the colours that I'm using are very pale pastel colours, so I'm using a blue, a lilac and a pink. So the left side of the stamp is obviously going to hit the right side of the paper first, and I'm taking my blue ink and I'm going to stamp down on the pattern so that it's all nicely full of ink, and I'm only doing sort of the first 3 triangles. And then to blur the edge, I just need to take a little sponge or a piece of kitchen roll, and I'm just going to blur the edge of that inking, and then I can press that down onto my card. And I want it a little bit deeper, so I'm going to go over it again, adding in the ink and just blotting the edge, and I'm going to press that down again. Now, because nothing's moved, that pattern goes in exactly the same place each time. Now, before I go any further, I need to clean that stamp off. So with a baby wipe, I'm just going to clean off the area of the stamp that I've just used, and I'm just drying it with some kitchen roll. And then with the next colour, I'm going to miss this part, and I'm going to add my ink along this side. Now, because I blurred the edges before, this is going to blend in quite nicely with the blue. So again, we'll just blur the edges off on the side, and I'm going to press this down, and because I double stamped the other one, I'm going to double stamp this. Now, can you see how the colours are blended in together? And that will go back in exactly the same place. and now it's a little bit deeper. So I'm going to move the magnet over this side, and I'm going to clean the stamp again. Now the last colour that I'm going to use is Angel Pink, and I've used this part of the stamp and that part of the stamp. So now I'm coming over to the right hand side of the stamp, which is going to hit the left hand side of the card. And again, we'll just blur the edges and we'll press that down. And I want it a lot paler, a lot darker, so I'm going to go over it again. And we'll press it down again. And I think we'll give this another press down as well, because it is a very pale pink ink. There we go. So once you've finished, you need to just clean your stamp, and it's only a water-based ink, so I'm just using a baby wipe and some kitchen towel just to dry it off. And then if you take that off the stamping plate and pop your carrier sheet back on it, it's now ready to go back into your bag and put away for the next time that you need it. So once I've got my panel stamped, I can trim it down so that it fits onto my layer, and that will fit on my card. But for now, I'm just going to work on this. What I've done is I've looked for all the butterfly stamps that I have in my stamp sets, and they're all the clear ones. So I need to put the black pad back into my machine, into my tool, and I'm just going to add a grid pattern to the top. So I'm going to pop this into the corner along there. Now what I can do now is, with the stamping side facing down, I'm going to place these butterflies in the position that I want them on my card. And this is clean, it's just stained black with some ink that I used. Now down at the bottom, I want to put a sentiment with another butterfly on it along there. So I'm just going to mark where that will be. And my butterflies are now all in place, so I can close the lid and press the stamps down, and that will pick them up on my stamping part. Now what I want to do with mine is I want to emboss it in clear powder. So I'm going to stamp these in black, and then I'm going to sprinkle the clear powder on top. So with some black VersaFine, I'm going to ink up my butterflies. And then I can take them over to the patterned piece, and I just need to press them down, and they are stamped. But I'm going to do them again because I want them a little bit more, especially the top butterfly, I want it a little bit more defined. So I'm going to stamp them again and press it down, and then with some scrap paper underneath, I'm going to sprinkle this with some clear powder. And then I can tip the rest back into the jar, and I can go away and heat emboss these butterflies. So once you've finished, don't forget to clean your stamps, store them back onto the carrier sheets and pop them away for the next time that you want to use them. So with my panel still in place, there's the little mark I made that shows me where I want my sentiment to be, but I want it to sit so that I have a little overhang on each side so that I can fold that parchment underneath. So I've made little marks, and this is the space that I have to work in. So I'm going to pop it back on there, and then I'm going to add in the other butterfly along this side. And I can pick that up with my lid, and then with my black powder I'm just going to stamp it down. And there it is. So I just need to add in some embossing powder, and I'm going to go away and heat emboss that. So the next one that I want to use is for the sentiment, and it's on rubber. So I need to take this out and keep it on one side. So I'll just pop this back where it was on the little mark. There's the 2 marks for the space that I've got. And to make sure that this is straight, I need to pop it down whereabouts I would want it on my parchment. I'm going to pick the stamp up, and if you look, it's not straight, so I need to straighten that up on the grid lines, and then I can just pop it down again. The stamp is still a bit wet with ink, so we'll just wet it up a little bit more and make sure that that sentiment is straight. And I think it needs to just come down a little fraction more. Okay, so we'll just try it again. Okay, so keep that all lined up. I'm now going to ink up the stamp again, and this time we'll stamp it down onto the parchment. And then once it's done, we'll just add in some clear embossing powder, and then I shall go away and emboss that so that it's shiny. Now, just to finish off the edge of this parchment, I'm just taking some silver calligraphy. It's from Pen Touch. So with a ruler just along the edge, I'm just going to add in a silver line. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. So once you've got your silver sides to your parchment, you need to pop that on one side to dry, and while it's drying you can be colouring in your butterflies. So I'm just taking a paler colour to go over the butterflies. So I'll just do one side first to show you what I'm doing. You will take a lot more time to do yours. And then along the body line, I'm just coming in with a darker colour just to bring out the shadow in that butterfly. So once you have your butterflies all coloured in, you can take your parchment and you can wrap it around your coloured base, and then make sure it's straight, and then with some foam tape on the back you can add that to your layer, and then add it to your card. Now, with all that layered together, all the workings are hidden inside the 2 layers, I'm just going to add this now to my base card. So as a final touch to my butterflies, I'm using some diamante strip, and I'm just going to add this along the body line to the butterflies. And then with some flourish, I am going to add in some butterfly trails. So it comes in a sheet like this. I only need 1 piece of it, and don't be afraid to cut it up. So that's all I'm going to do, is just cut this up and add these as butterfly trails to my butterflies. So there you've got 2 pretty cards created with a shaded background And to get the background, I've used the Misty.